Welcome to the Halo Outreach Podcast, where we reach out to you, the Halo community, to keep you up to date on everything that's going on in the Halo universe.
What's going on, everybody? Episode number 40 of the Halo Outreach Podcast, the news podcast that keeps you updated with everything going on in Halo. Today, as always, we're joined with our lovely co-host, the Patman Gaming. Why don't you say hola?
Hola, ¿qué pasa, amigos?
And today, we're bringing you some awesome information, as we always do. Today, we're going to be talking about the May blog update. It's going to be the big, hefty chunk of this episode today, guys. A lot of information to go over that, entailing some Halo 3 flighting information, and just current development of MCC with some new features coming in that have been recently reprioritized, which is going to be fantastic. We're also going to be talking about the HCS Pro Series had their first pro tournament last weekend. So I'm really excited about that. We talked about that for a bit as well, and how the whole process went for the first online tournament. We had the Halo Infinite art book be announced. We got some players updates as well. And so we're going to get right into this, guys, for everybody. But first of all, before we do anything, Pat, how you doing? How you been since the last week's episode?
This week's been rough for about everybody in our country, everybody in the world. We're not alone in this in the U.S., but I've just had the energy zapped out of me, man. I know you're almost on feeling the similar way. You got a lot going on too. It's just been exhausting, sad, heartbreaking to just see my Twitter feed just constantly with negative stuff and people hurting, and our country's not going it's not trending upwards, we should say. It's this is pretty bad, and on top of Corona, 2020 sucked, man, and hopefully it gets better.
Hopefully. I guess it could get worse, but I feel like it's going to get better.
I mean, Corona is still out there, and social distancing seemed to have gone out the window with all these protests. People are standing right next to each other. People are, right on top of each other. There's a virus, a pandemic going on. It's not just a virus, it's a pandemic. It's easily transferred to other people, and there's supposed to be a second wave of Corona later in the year, that could happen. It's just going to, after, obviously right now what's important is, what's going on with racism in our country and all around the world, but mostly in the U.S., that, something that shouldn't be happening in a country like the United States, a land of the free, a mixing pot of a bunch of different ethnicities, but it's the harsh reality. We got to stop ignoring it, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens after this all dies down, so what happens with the coronavirus, and see how that's affected from all this. So, yeah, besides that, playing video games here and there. Besides that, just trying to play some video games here and there.
Country unrest, cities burning, but other
our
than
president
that,
is, I don't know what I could say about the president without FBI coming for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and like you mentioned too about kind of having a lot of energy zapped out of you, but kind of feeling the same. I mean, we had some looters happening literally walking distance from my apartment, and there was a shooting a 5-minute drive away from me as well. And so there was one that my fiance were up to 5 o'clock in the morning, just with mace and a taser by our bedside.
Yeah.
Making sure no one comes for us,
Yeah.
It's it was freaky. But luckily no one did. I didn't think anybody would, because we're in an apartment complex, but people are crazy, safe, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hopefully, so I just hope something good comes out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think I was mentioning to you earlier that it could be a little bit trickier trying to fix things this time around when it comes to civil, human rights and stuff like that, compared to what happened in the 60s. That was a little more clear cut. But I feel in this one, it's a fundamental change to policing, accountability, and just the structure of governments even.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot. Yeah. And I don't think a single bill is going to change things and make it for the better.
No.
A lot of things have to change.
It's got to be a systematic change from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
and
But
that
yeah,
could take a
like
while.
so having all that going on, yeah, just kind of like getting zapped the energy a lot out of me for like creating content, you know, especially also having some sleepless nights. And so, but I kind of like, I had a stream the other night. I felt good, kind of like, okay, yeah, I feel like I'm being back a little bit of normalcy and ready to get back into the content grind, back into talking about some Halo, having some fun, while also still, you know, not forgetting all the stuff that's happening on still. But anyways, you want to kind of maybe jump over into the blog update here?
Sure.
Kind of scroll through. We'll just kind of scroll through that and see what we got in store for that whole thing.
Yeah, so we had basically, obviously, we always have at the end of the month a monthly blog detailing what's going on with MCC and everything, you know, that's been happening during the month, you know, update on all the features that could be coming and things like that. So this was quite the big bite-sized chunk of a blog update. It was huge. Most of it was taken up by a very, in my opinion, confusing section that was called the life of a bug, which went into great detail, which I do appreciate the great detail of it. Just to me and maybe the average person, it might be a little bit confusing and could be a lot of fluff, but it's nice to see the process at 343 as far as bug fixing. They even go into details of what happened with the Halo 2 Classic launch on PC, as well as the Halo 3 cursed Halo 3 launch when that happened, when the new update went live, how that broke Halo 3 on the Xbox One. So they even went into the details of the coding and all that stuff, what they had to change to fix it and why that happened. So that was really cool to see. But the biggest thing is that I would say that we take away from this blog update was that Halo 3 fighting is still on track to be during the first half of the month of June. They actually mentioned first half of the month at one point in the blog post, but then in another one they say it's going to be in the first 3 weeks. That's what they're hoping to get out the flight. As far as content, we have a lot of stuff, updated customization, which is huge because we even seen screenshots of Spartans with mixed armor sets. So the old armor sets, you know, like the pre, what would you say? Kind of like Halo 5 had.
I forgot
Notifications, let me guess.
Notification. Yep, I kind of forgot about that
Son
one.
of a gun.
We had a resub though, so thank you very much for the subscription to the channel. I gotta turn that off right now. Sorry.
Never fails.
I do thank you very much for the 2 months. Okay, back to what you were talking about though.
Yes, so customization, instead of like the preset, you know, armor sets, you could actually customize head, shoulders, torso like you could in the old Halo 3. And as far as we know, none of that will be locked up again. So if you have MCC already, or when you buy MCC, that will all be there waiting for you. But you can mix Recon with Mark V, you know, whatever you want to do. Put the katana on your back, but still not having to have the Hayabusa arm plates or whatever you want. So that's really cool. That's a cool thing. Forge is also coming in this flight for PC with some added stuff. It looks like the Elephant, anti-air wraiths, things like that are going to be added into, which I heard from somebody. This is not confirmed or anything, but a friend of mine who worked on the Mythic maps for Halo 5 Mythic Arena said that Forge update is going to be coming by the time the launch of Halo 3 comes out. So, you know, that means we'll get a whole bunch of stuff for Forge, including Halo Reach Forge, and those huge update that showed all those, remember those screenshots we saw of all the different things you could play around with in Forge, whether it be for, sabers, I think phantoms, things like that were in there. So now we have the Elephant and anti-air race for Halo 3 being able to be thrown in there, which is really cool. Theater will be in the flight, and the complete challenge system. Probably the thing I'm most excited for is that challenge system. We have a little bit of a taste of it in MCC now, but you'll actually get a challenge hub screen where you can check the progress of your challenges. There'll be more than just campaign challenges. There'll be multiplayer, campaign, you know, weekly stuff, seasonal stuff, and with rewards that aren't just XP based. So that's going to be really cool. And that will be also in this flight, and presumably with the release of Halo 3 after the flight. The campaign, we got a bunch of campaign levels, CR117, the Storm, Arc, the Covenant, and Halo, all available single player, co-op, and all the difficulty levels as usual. We'll have our usual multiplayer options, a suite of stuff, 4-on-4 for social, 8-player FFA, 12-player Infection, and Big Team. Competitive will be Halo 3 Team Hardcore 4-on-4, Halo 3 Team Slayer 4-on-4, and doubles. As far as multiplayer maps, we got Construct, Guardian, Last Resort, Narrows, Sandtrap, The Pit, Valhalla, Foundry, Standoff, Avalanche, Sandbox, and Heretic. So a lot of stuff coming in these flights.
Stuff.
Yeah. And
this is probably the most jam-packed, content-rich flight we'll have.
Yeah.
Which kind of tells you how I think they're probably confident how complete this game is right now.
Yeah, which me and you have talked about this before. We'll say it again. Halo 3 was the most complete Halo game, the most complete package. Still to this day, one of the most complete packages in the history of gaming. Great campaign, great multiplayer, great Forge, custom games, all that stuff. Customization, it was all there. And
Pat, did you just agree that Halo 3 has great multiplayer?
Yeah, it has great multiplayer. All Halo games have great multiplayer, in my opinion. They're better than most other games. Just some Halo games are better than others, and some are more overrated than others. But there's it has to go right. This flight has to go great. This launch has to be almost perfect. Nothing like the Halo 2 launch. Not even the CE launch, which, in my opinion, wasn't that bad, except for obviously the glaring, the spread of the Magnum. It has to be the best launch that MCC has ever gotten. Okay. And it's the most popular Halo. It's the pinnacle of the series, and people have been waiting. They've never been able to play this on PC. Halo Online made Halo 3 popular, so maybe those El Dorito guys that got hired at 343 are really helping make sure that this goes as smoothly as possible. But we all know this is most definitely the final straw. Everybody's looking forward to Halo 3 on PC. So,
and also they mentioned on Reddit with Farns mentioned about how they have the interpolation working for Halo 3,
right.
So where playing with unlimited frames will actually play like unlimited frames.
Right.
So if you guys play on PC with unlimited frames for Halo CE and Halo 2 Classic, it's buttery smooth. Like, it looks great playing on unlimited frames. But if you're like on Reach or H2A, it's pretty choppy on the frames, even if you're getting like 120.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of choppiness even lately, especially with H2A. It's definitely choppy.
Yeah, I pretty much just locked it right at 60, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But
sucks.
At least I'm playing it on PC. That's kind of more like, at least you can hit 60 just fine. Though if you're a true PC experience, you'd want to get over 60.
Right.
But the match your monitor, whatever your monitor refresh rate is. But it's still like 60 is still good. Yeah, that's kind of the gold standard, really. As long as you're in 60 frames. We also had like some pretty great developments when it comes to things that are now actively in development and things that are in design right now for the MCC as a whole.
Yep.
Switch over to this one right here. So we have actively in development. We have like double keybinds, which obviously for a lot of people can be super beneficial. I don't really bother with double keybinds a whole lot, but I know a lot of people really want it. Adjustable view models for your weapons, so you don't take up like half your screen. Steam account linking, super nice, because I still find trying to invite people to a match can be kind of confusing and a bit of a hassle on PC, especially if you're on different platforms. In-game FPS cap and adjustments, that's also super nice, because obviously if I don't want your PC to work harder than it needs to, right? Like, I don't need 200 frames. I'm trying to get 144 and just stick with that, Customization improvements, as they said, added, like I said, with Halo 3, bringing that adjustments in. Progression system, and like I said, the challenge system, super awesome to see that coming in. Cannot wait to kind of grind out that content a little bit more, which would make me think you would have to bring in a new season with Halo 3 as well. Like, I think at this point, most people that have played the game, at least to a consistent casual point with MCC, have pretty much hit tier 100. I think I hit that back in like January, I think it was when I hit
still
tier
have
100.
Yet to hit it. I'm at like 91 or 92 right now, so I'm getting there.
Yeah. Man, like I said, I've played MCC way more than you have. and like you're pretty much there.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think pretty much most of the people have caught up to that point where we're kind of looking for a new season. So it'd be interesting to see what they kind of add for content that way. If you do, make sure you follow the channels, guys. We'll keep you up to date on that for sure. Subscribe, people.
Do it.
But the cool thing here is what they've got that's now added to the InDesign section, which is something super important here. Where they've had like additional mod support, chat improvements, additional video settings. Yeah. The cool stuff here are these 4 right here are going to be custom. They're currently in design, which means they're working about how to implement this into the MCC, kind of like in the drawing board kind of stages. The custom games browser, input-based matchmaking, original server selection, and crossplay between Xbox and PC. So they're working on that. Now, there is no timetable when this stuff is done, when it's going to be put out, but at least now it's off the back burner of going, we'll get to it till we'll get to it. Well, now they've gotten to it. Now they're starting to work on it, how they're going to implement it into the MCC for the multiple consoles that the MCC runs on, and also all the different kind of hardware builds for PC as well. That's huge, especially having a custom game browser and Xbox PC crossplay. That's going to be massive.
Right.
Especially, I was like wondering like where this crossplay is going to be coming in, because they mentioned it back during Reach when people were crying about the aim assist. And they're like, well, we don't want to change it for crossplay eventually coming in. They're like, well, when's the crossplay coming in?
Right.
Are you just going to let these games die and then add in the crossplay,
Right.
But so it looks like they're working on it right now. If you had to give a timetable, what would you feel like you would probably see the crossplay being implemented?
I'd say 3 months, 4 months. Yeah.
I think before Halo 4 comes out on PC?
Before or a little bit after.
Yeah.
I would lean a little bit more towards a little bit after, just considering how long, because this stuff has always been on the table. It's always been in the back burner, in the backlog, pending further discussions. All this stuff was moved up a tier, basically, because we have 3 tiers. We have ones that are actually actively in development, ones that are in design iteration, which Kevin mentioned, and then in the backlog. And this stuff has been in the backlog, like you said, since Reach. They've talked about all this stuff. And now, Reach launched in December. We're in June, 6 months later, we're now getting it bumped up a tier. The thing is, we don't really have much left in the active development. So I'm thinking they would be able to get to this stuff and really start cranking it out in the next few months. So I would say either in the fall, sometime in the fall, before, like maybe 2 months before Infinite launches, I think that stuff would be good. I really think it's really important too that input-based matchmaking and crossplay come out at the same time.
Absolutely have to be.
Yeah, you cannot have your player base getting further weeded down by input-based matchmaking. Crossplay would alleviate that issue, so those 2 features need to come at the same time. I'd rather see that come out before custom game browsers, but custom game browsers is definitely really important as well as region selection. Better ways to report players has also been added into there, and that's huge too, because it's really hard to find a way to report people who are just being stupid and racist or just saying, I mean, I don't mind shit talking. You know me, I'm a shit talker myself, but there's just a certain line you cross, and a lot of people do that. So it'd be nice to be able to report players.
So many people are just lazy with their trash talking online nowadays. They just go bad, you bad, trash,
Yeah.
No, you got to get a little creative with it. If you're going to talk some trash, make it entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
These kids don't know what it was like back in the 360 days, back in Xbox Live with Halo 3 and like Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, all right?
Yeah. If you want to see good trash talk, just tune into me and Kevin playing together, and when we're just bickering back and forth.
He's blaming me for deaths. I'm blaming him for deaths. He's stealing my kills. I'm stealing his. It's a never-ending cycle of just toxicity, and we love it.
Of course, yeah. Feed off of that.
But and obviously, like input matchmaking is going to be needed. I think even if there was no issue between aim assist between like controller and mouse and keyboard, you still need that anyways. Just because there is gonna be like some advantages and disadvantages between the two input devices. That you want to try to have as much of an even playing field as possible, and having input-based matchmaking is going to really help with that. I know that Call of Duty does that with their crossplay. Like I definitely notice, like when I'm playing on Xbox, I get way more console players, and then if I'm playing on PC, I get way more PC players normally than I do console players. And I think Fortnite has a similar implementation as well. And so it just kind of helps level out the playing field a little bit more, less variables, and so it's a messy thing to kind of deal with as well. And especially with how Arena has been playing on the MCC on PC, that basically if you're like trying to rank up in the 4v4 like hardcore playlists in Halo, you pretty much have to play with a controller. That's because like I think it's more than just aim assist, like the map sizes, your average distances you come across in battles, player movement, fire rates, bullet magnetism. Like there's so many different variables when it comes to this stuff to make you choose controller or make you choose mouse and keyboard. And so just like saying change aim assist, it's like there's a little bit more behind that.
Right.
I think it might come down to like fundamentally changing the game at some points, which obviously that's a big undertaking right there to try to get that to work out. But yeah, super awesome to see that happen. I would really, I don't know how difficult it is to, code out crossplay. I don't think it'd be too tricky. Try to get some platforms to talk between each other. I can imagine that being easier than like, I don't know, like I can see that being just about as easy as like adding in double key bindings or something. But
yeah,
I don't know. Like I said, we're not getting to that.
Notoriously easy to implement. It's just a matter of a lot of developers back in the day when Sony was like, really against crossplay, they're like, we just need the go ahead. It's almost as easy as flipping a switch. I think the problem has been trying to implement input-based matchmaking. That's what they're trying to work on first, like I said, so that they can release them both at the same time.
Sorry, go ahead. Let me cut you off.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying also since like on the MCC, how you can just switch back and forth between controller and mouse and keyboard like so quickly, because usually you have to like choose which one you want to play with.
Well, yeah, with like Modern Warfare, you have to. I've played a lot. I don't know if Apex was. I've played a lot of games recently that allow you to switch on the fly. Like some games, I'll snipe only with the mouse, and then when I'm doing everything else, I'll go back to just switch the controller, have it right there in my lap waiting. So I mean, there's that. But if you want to maintain integrity, I guess is the best way to put it, and to kind of reduce the number of people complaining about aim assist and things like that, then yeah, you would have to do input-based matchmaking and lock people into whatever they want to choose, controller, mouse, and keyboard. So
yeah, I think if you had a controller just plugged in at all, you would have to count them as a controller player. Yeah, because can you imagine that happening? If like, because you can tell like the UI recognizes whether or not you're a controller or keyboard mouse user. Can you imagine it's like being like mouse and keyboard searching up, and then as soon as the game starts, bring out your controller and start playing? Right.
Yeah,
like that would be extra cheesy, and people would do it too to rank up.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that was, I think it's pretty much like
that's about it for
dev
the
update.
Yeah.
That's it. Other than that, like I said, the life of a bug stuff, it's really technical, very detailed oriented. Maybe I would say maybe a little too much for what you're showing out to the public, as in just like it might be a little too much extra information, But that's just me. Yeah. I'm glad that they're willing to talk about that stuff. Again, most dev companies or game companies don't even bother with that at all.
Yeah.
So we're pretty fortunate as Halo fans for that one. I think maybe next we can probably talk about the Halo Infinite art book that got announced. Let's move over to that right there. So, as you can probably assume, with every Halo game, there's like a new art book or some kind of thing that gets added as like an external kind of reading material kind of stuff with every game. And it was recently just announced that the art of Halo Infinite was just announced on Amazon. It's actually a pretty decent price for a hardcover book, $30.
Yep.
Currently out 26% off, so that's actually kind of a not too bad of a price, to be honest, compared to where like Halo 5's art book right now is actually pretty much the same price.
Yeah.
And I think I might actually spring for this one. just from what I've seen, just initially from the art of Halo Infinite, I'm really liking it. Like from the toys that we've seen, the trailers that we've seen, looking pretty dang awesome. Because you have a little bit of a like a blurb about the whole thing as well, saying that legendary super soldier returns in Halo Infinite. 343 Industries and Microsoft are building the biggest and most visually spectacular Halo game yet. Halo Infinite debuts on the Xbox family of consoles, which right there kind of lets you talk, amongst yourselves about that. Also, just they could just be referring to the old gen and new gen, but the rumor is that there's gonna be a
yeah.
But of course, the rumor is that there's gonna be a low end and a high end Xbox Series X, which I think was that during the website reported that like a year ago, 2 years ago, or something like that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
but that's definitely referring to Xbox One, One S, One X, the Series X, and if the Lockhart does come out, yeah, that's included under that umbrella.
But yeah, basically it kind of goes in like showing you the worlds and the art and just the universe of everything that's amazing with Halo Infinite. And it's actually going to be produced by Dark Horse, which has done plenty of previous reading material for the Halo series as well. I think I have a few other comics as well, like the Halo Escalation series.
Yeah, they're good. They do
and
comics, yeah.
I think I'm there comic over there as well from Dark Horse. It's all good stuff. Like it's all really great. Really enjoy reading it, and definitely looking forward to it. I think I might snag myself a copy of this one. Might just have to, or since it'd be around that time in November, I might just wait and be like, hey, how about an awesome Christmas gift?
Right. Yeah.
That would be perfect for a Christmas gift for sure. And so Halo, the art of Halo Infinite also features brand new cover from legendary concept artist and Halo Infinite's art director Sparth as well, added on there as another description. It does say release date being December 29th. I highly doubt that.
Yeah, no, it's just a placeholder date.
Yeah, definitely just a placeholder. So that's pretty awesome. You can pre-order it now if you want. Again, like for $30 if you so choose. So, but that option's out there for you guys if you want to. Do you think you'll be picking this one up, Pat?
Possibly. I'm not really big on the art stuff. I ordered the Story of Halo, like the Mythos of Halo. I ordered that book recently. Probably get the encyclopedia. We'll see if it's I don't know, maybe get the strategy guide instead or something cool like that. I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely on my radar. I put that.
Are strategy guides even like really like a thing anymore?
Oh yeah. I just bought one when Breath of the Wild came out. Yeah, I bought a hardcover collector's edition version of the strategy guide.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like, because I remember the strategy guides being like legitimate, like strategy guides of how to like play through levels and stuff like that. Kind of almost like a little.
Halo 5 had a cool one too, strategy guide. Thing. But like, it came with like Rex and stuff too that you could like the Prima emblem and all that. I think came with that.
Wow, pay to win, I say.
Yeah. Yeah, because I totally play Warzone. But
yeah, so cool. Looking forward to that. I know I'll probably will be picking it up because I always like looking through that kind of stuff. So beyond Halo Infinite awesomeness, which we'll be having coming out in July next month, guys, we'll be having some Halo Infinite reveal awesomeness. Super excited about that. Oh my god, can't wait. Though, in the meantime, though, MCC is still relevant, and we had our first pro tournament for the MCC Pro Series just happened over the weekend. So I thought we kind of share some results over that and kind of how the production of it went, how the gameplay of it, the whole thing went, and how did it go? Did it play well? Did it have long delays like the last event did? But this one actually ran rather smoothly. Like, I think for the obstacles that 343 had to overcome to try to make a production out of this and like put it on their Twitch channel, which has been dormant for a long time, and make it feel like you're watching like a regular tournament, like you would see like in person. I think they did an amazing job doing the production on this thing. Like they were basically just hopping between the point of views of different people playing in the game who were streaming at the time.
Mhm.
And I think most of them were pretty much obligated to stream, or at least most of them did stream. And so they weren't hopping back and forth between points of view as much as they normally would, but you still got at least a decent point of view of like what the guys were talking about. And plus, it was cool to have Unishek, Tashi, and Clutch were doing the commentating for it as well throughout the whole thing, which is pretty great to see. And Matt Klein, who was like the production lead for the HCS team, I think nailed it out of the park. Like, I didn't feel like I was watching a nerfed version of the tournament. I felt like I was watching like what you would normally see if you're watching from Twitch. Like, did a great job. Audio levels were great, and I think they did an awesome job. I would probably suggest maybe if they could, to the players, maybe to turn off their notifications when like new follows or donations happen, because you can imagine if there were some more people watching. What?
No, it's just you telling people to turn off their alerts. I just find that really funny.
Well, when you get paid for doing that, you would think you could take into consideration. No, I'm just kidding. But just in case, like, you got trolls and stuff like that. Obviously, if there was more viewership, you definitely would have like bit donation trolls going like, XX420 my suck my whatever, 69 donated 500 bits, and you see that flash on your screen. It can be a little distracting to the production of the stream.
Mm.
But luckily we didn't see that. Of course, I think average viewership was like around 1,500, 2,000 people, so it wasn't like a crazy viewership as we normally get.
Right.
Usually like for finals we get like around what 10,000 ish, 15,000.
Yeah.
Maybe. Something like that. I can't remember exact numbers. But like, ran super well. And so I just kind of wanted to go over some of the brackets that were for the first Halo Pro Series tournament here, guys. So we had so basically these were the top 8 teams that were playing here. I believe 4 of them were from HCS Anaheim, which was the last Pro Series event. And a few of them had to kind of work their way in. So we had pretty much all the predicted teams won, really. All the pre-established teams for the previous one, like Inconceivable, which was former Mantra, that won the last event, made it to the semifinals, but actually lost the Pride, which was the previous Unlimited team, if I remember correctly. No, they were this was a team that I think, if I remember correctly, Ryan Noob saying, no, they were in the last tournament as well. I can't remember what team name they went under previously. But all the previous pro teams made it into the final series, coming down to Pride, which was King Nick, Rain, Saiyan, and Ryan Noob, versus Sentinels in the finals, which was Lethal, APG, Royal 2, Snakebite. And it was a pretty fun series to watch. Actually, Pride walked away with the first game in the finals, but then Sentinels, aka Tox, were like, okay, we're done with having your fun. We're playing with our food pretty much on that one. And they ended up taking up the next 3 games for the win on that one. And, Sentinels basically reclaiming their throne as the best Halo team in the biz, as they've pretty much been since ever. Since they were back on the Optics team. They've always basically finished first or second the whole time, really. Mm-hmm. So big ups to them. Really glad to see how well that production turned out. And we have a new amateur series coming up this weekend. And we'll see which teams kind of walk away with that one. Again, it's all going to be a Halo 2 anniversary, I think, for a while. Though I think they are willing to kind of look into maybe mixing things up, especially when Halo 3 comes out. I think things are currently planned out to the end of the beginning half of July. I think there's going to be doing H2A. And I think after 4th of July, they might be kind of probably hopping over to Halo 3. And then, probably after that, just Halo Infinite, No, they'll just do Halo 4 after that, pretty much. I think that's what's going to happen. But super glad to see how well that turned out. And looking forward to the future tournaments, man. I'm excited. I'm glad to see this many people jumping on and playing some competitive Halo. That's good. Did you get a chance to watch it at all, Pat?
No. Don't care.
Hey, okay, well, you're gonna start caring once Halo Infinite comes out,
Yeah,
and
probably
then
we're
gonna have teams coming out. Like these are gonna be the teams you're gonna start worrying about, watching out for. These players you gotta keep in
Exactly.
mind when Halo Infinite comes around. We're gonna
I
have to
do know
still
who
do these
King Nick
online
is.
tournaments.
I knew that
Yeah,
name.
he's a streamer. Yeah, he's a streamer.
I faced him when they did the Halo 5 tournament, like mixer mashup or whatever. He destroyed me. He's frustrating to play against. So yeah, he's a really good player.
What was that mixer matchup thing again? Was it like how many kills you get or something like that?
Yeah, he was just straight up climbing the leaderboard so quick. It's a long story. I ain't gonna get into it, but yeah.
But yeah, like I remember like you and Jimbo, right? Or Rap Scallion.
No,
was
this
it?
is before I even met those guys or you, really.
Okay.
Before we even started talking. It was just maybe a month before we started talking to each other, but yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just went in it solo and just tried.
Yeah,
Then I realized you had to play League of Legends as well, because I was trying to win the tickets to E3. I really want to go to E3 that year. I ended up winning tickets anyways from a different contest, but I was really trying to get on that grind to do that. But then I realized you had to play League and stuff, and I was like, oh, never mind, I give up.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, but I think that's what mixers should be doing.
Yeah,
Instead of dropping millions of dollars on these contracts trying to get these big name streamers, you need to start from the foundation up, man. You can't just be picking from the top. You can't be cherry picking. You got to grow the tree before you start picking the apples.
I mean, having people like Ninja and stuff, maybe that's their way of looking at growing the tree, getting people to recognize Mixer.
Yeah, but I thought that was a great. Maybe they just didn't see that much growth from it, in the first attempt of it. But I think that would be a great way to get people to jump on Mixer and stream on that platform. It's just because, or just get them on it, make them use it, and they may be like, well, actually, it's not that bad. I like it,
Right.
I think even after signing all these big name guys, I think Mixer still has maybe 2% of online streaming viewership for gaming.
Jeez.
Or Twitch is 90% or something like that. I can't remember the exact statistics. I've heard something about that, but yeah. Hopefully, Microsoft's trying real hard not to have Mixer be the next Zoom or Zune.
Dude, Zune was cool. Don't trash Zune.
Zune
HD was dope, dude.
I remember Zune had a really cool share feature where you can send each other a song.
Yeah.
But then it would delete itself after 3 days or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the one thing you had over them, and you kneecapped it. But yeah, that's why. Nowadays, no one even really has an iPod anymore. Really, everyone just uses their phone and streams from there.
Yeah.
I loved my iPod back in the day.
You want to
my
get
only Apple product I actually liked.
Yeah, same.
Yes.
The only Apple product I ever owned was an iPod Touch. But let's move on to the playlist updates. Wrap this crap up. So we got Yip Yap, the Destroyer. His playlist is back on MCC right now. The Yappening. That is going on, I guess, now until June 10th. So on MCC,
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. It's weird. Some of it's bad. I can't remember what I played. I think it was Brute Shots, unlimited bottomless clip Brute Shots on elongation or something. It was just fucking awful. I was like, dude, I'd rather play Castle Wars than that. And that's saying something.
That's some strong words from hell on that one.
So that ends on June 10th. It was actually supposed to be Shoddy Snipes coming in on June 3rd, but I guess that got pushed back. So that's probably what's going to be coming in after the happening. But you can earn yourself 2 nameplates right now. If you kill 150 grunts with headshots in campaign, firefight, or Spartan Ops, you get the Shut Your Yap nameplate, which I just got. And then the Yap Yap the Destroyer nameplate. You have to complete 7 matches in the category for the Yappening game category in the social custom social browser there under MCC. You'll see it at the end. It'll have a little grunt emblem. You find 7 matches, complete them. You don't got to win them, and then you'll earn yourself that nameplate too. You don't get the nameplates right away. They do it on a weekly basis, so just remember that. They press a button to verify who's done the criteria, and then you get it. So give it time to see if you guys if you don't get it right away, don't panic. Looking at you, Jimbo. Jimbo's panicking. He's like, "How did you get it and I didn't get it? We did it at the same time." I'm like, "Dude, just chill. Right?
Chill.
Wait another week, and then I got your back in case they don't give it to you."
And also just keep in mind, these are the same nameplates that they were giving out last Yappening, which was a year ago, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it was almost a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. I think it was back in April last year that they did this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you already got those nameplates last year, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. I thought it was really great. Some rebalancing on maps and game modes as well.
Yep.
For Halo 2 Classic, which I think is huge. You want to go over those, Pat?
Yeah, sure. So Halo 2 Classic playlist changes were implemented on Wednesday. So they adjusted the weighting of 4v4 to make Lockout, Midship, and Sanctuary more common. 3 great maps, no problem with that. Make Foundation, Backwash, and Desolation, and Tombstone less common. 4 not so great maps. Cool with that. Adjusted weighting to 8v8 to make map weightings more evenly distributed. So the big team, you should get a more even selection of maps. They removed Ascension from 4v4 Autoslayer, which if you play Autoslayer, may God have mercy on your soul. And remove Zanzibar from 4v4 Flag and Bomb. So yeah, all interesting stuff. I say all that's for the good.
Yeah, I was playing a little bit of the 4v4 in Halo 2 Classic now that it actually works. And definitely was getting much better map rotations in that one for sure. Though, like, I mean, I like Foundation. I like Backwash, Desolation, Tombstone. I like them. Yeah. But definitely, like, Lockout, Midship, Sanctuary, like, those are the Halo 2 maps right there. You want to play those, So, glad to see that change coming in.
Quick question before I move on to Halo 5 playlist. Have you played Terminal at all? I missed that map on Halo 2. The one with the train on it?
Yeah, I remember Terminal. I haven't really played a whole lot, of course, I haven't really played a whole lot of classic BTB. I feel like when I'm playing BTB, I mainly get not Backwash, but Waterworks. I get that one a lot.
Yeah, you get Waterworks a lot. You'll get Coag. But yeah,
I don't feel like I get Coag that often. I want more.
I mean, you'll get it, but yeah, I have not.
Honestly,
Terminal.
I wish there was like a Blood Gulch and all its variations 24/7 playlist. That'd be
like a new
very
town
happy with
24/7.
Yeah, exactly. But like all the variations of Blood Gulch, like that would be awesome. I guarantee you that'd be way more played than Shoddy Snipes.
Probably.
Yeah. So you want to move over to the Halo 5? Or
Halo 5. No, June 4th, which is today as of the recording of this podcast or the stream of this podcast, the 2020 arena season began on Halo 5. Free for All has rotated into ranked as well, and Castle Wars.
Your favorite?
Yeah, I played that over fucking Yappening. So those are rotated in. We'll update you guys next week on what's going on the playlist. But yeah, I guess solid stuff, especially arena season starting. So that's cool.
Actually, a fun thing I realized, I watched a Mint Blitz clip of this. We tried doing this the other night, or on Gemini. You play in the Yappening, you play like this one ball variation where basically like you can't really die. I mean, like you can, but it takes a lot of like rocket shots, and then like the physics are just like through the roof or whatever. So basically, if you get shot, you get flung across the map, kind of stuff. Just fun stuff like that.
Yeah, we were playing that on Lockout.
Yeah, I mean, we got Gemini, and it found out like if you grab the ball, you run to the outside balcony, and then you throw a plasma grenade down, pick up the ball, jump, and then let the grenade explode. It'll just fling you to like the top of the map, like out of the map to the top where like you can't get shot from or anything like that. You just hide up there the entire time, just completely breaking the game mode. But I think that's just kind of like the aspect of like Yappening modes where it's just like, let's just break the game and have some stupid fun,
Right.
I think that's kind of like the whole appeal of that playlist as a whole. But those are the playlists you guys can look forward to when it comes to all the good stuff coming in Halo. I saw a lot of people on Twitter being really excited about FFA coming back to Halo 5.
Yeah.
Like Pixel Pete, Lady Echidna. Vito is probably as well. Yeah. Big FFA fans over there. I'm not a huge fan of FFA, but
me either.
I like it. It's fun. I think that's the closest I ever got to grinding at the Onyx. I was like this close to Onyx in Free for All, and I just couldn't quite get it. Now I'm sorry.
I don't even think I've played 5 matches of FFA on a Halo 5.
What? Halo 5 Free for All is fun.
Never played FFA much.
Well, it can be a little tricky because especially at the beginning, when like it really depends on what your spawn is at the start. If you spawn next to like a rocket launcher, you're like, all right, we're gonna have a good start. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, though, I guess I kind of might bring us towards the end of the show here. Pat, you have other outlets to connect with people online.
I sure do.
What might those said outlets be?
Well, set outlets might be Twitter. You can find me at the Patman Gaming. You can find me on YouTube. Type in Patman Gaming on your YouTube search bar. Should pop right up. If I don't, there's a problem. And on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Patman Gaming. Almost to 500 follows, so we're excited about that. We passed 2K on YouTube, so very excited about that. And Instagram, you can follow me on there too at the Patman Gaming on Instagram. And that's about it. Kevin, where can people find you?
As always, you can find me at KevinKoolx Halo on Twitter, KevinKoolx on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. I feel like I know, so you can just catch this podcast in general. You can catch on Spotify and Podbean if you want to listen into the podcast without any worry of draining your phone battery on YouTube. Check us out on those platforms. You get to listen in your car. You can, just not have to waste your entire phone battery, which is like a huge plus. Our buddy Rapscan likes to listen on Spotify, I know for sure. So you guys can check us out. Links to everything that we just mentioned is going to be in the description of this video on Podbean as well, and also on Spotify if you're listening there. If you want to check us out on all our other platforms. But otherwise, guys, I think that's going to end this for the show. If anyone in the live stream going to want to chill out, we can do some Q&A afterwards, and we'll do some more streaming, some game streaming after that as well. And for the podcast, Pat, why don't you close us out?
What do I do with my hands?
Bye.